Hi guys, WildTracker here and welcome to another episode. Today we are on WildCraft and we've got a few jobs to do. Well, one particular build I've got planned for today. So you can see down here, this is our farm area in spawn, which, you know, if you need stuff, you come here, you harvest it and you go away again. So not that automatic, and given that we can do things automatically, I think it's about time to do that. Now, somebody did attempt to get something working here, you may remember. We didn't actually need the doors over there, but yeah, so they basically built a farm here, the villager was passing there, and it kind of worked, but it didn't work. When his inventory full, it didn't quite work. So, and I think it's a bit close to this, what is technically a village, so that's no good. So I want to be able to tear both of those down, and we're going to build a new one today, and we're going to build it completely fully automatic. It needs no input at all from anyone, and this is where we're going to build it. So it's going to build over here to here to here, so where those posts mark it out. And Smithy and Andy on the server as well, by the way. They're over at the end and they are building the Enderman farm, so I'm letting them get on with it. Okay, so this might be a bit dangerous working here today because we're right on the edge of spawn where there is no lights, but hey, we'll cope with it. And a bit of string for Smithy in that. Right, so what we're going to do is build a fully automatic farm, and you'll see how it's going to work. It's going to use a clock. It's going to use all that down underneath, and then we're going to have an entranceway where we can come in and collect all the farm stuff, and then above it we're going to have the actual farm. So we've got all the resources, I think. That's mostly junk in there, a few resources. So we've got lots of blocks that we're going to be needing. I've already done this in creative, and yeah, we've got some pistons and things like that. So I think I've got everything I need. So let's just get on with doing this, shall we? And I think what we'll do is I'm going to, rather than try and sort of force you through the lag that I will effectively get here at spawn at the moment, even though we're in pre-release 8.1 pre-release 2, so but 8.1 full isn't out yet, so waiting for that. So I'm going to crack on, and I'm basically going to do some bits, and then we'll come back so you can see what progress I've made in terms of doing this. So yeah, we'll get on with that, and then we'll come back. Right, so we've just done the outline of the building, and what I'm going to do now, because this is really just a framework for me to follow from, I'm now going to really concentrate on the farm area, which is going to be up above. If I could just climb this ladder. So we'll come up here, and as you can see, we've got an area which is marked out. Let's get some dirt. So this is 10 by 10, which leaves an 8 by 8 gap in the middle, and then we're just basically going to fill this with dirt, and that's going to formulate the actual farm area. And then this glass that I'm walking on is actually going to be an area to put water. So, and the water is going to serve several purposes. One, it's going to hydrate the land and the farm, so that's good. And the second thing is it's going to actually transport the food. So when the food gets farmed, it's going to transport the food along to hoppers and fill in that way. So I'm going to get this next part filled in, and then hopefully we'll have a farm area ready set up. Like I say, I'm leaving all these sort of bits because these are the little sort of fiddly bits that get filled in, and I don't want to get them wrong at this stage. It's easier to work on things like the farm and that. So yeah, starting to go well. And thankfully, because Smithy and Andy are in the end, it means I can sleep the night through and I'm not getting attacked by as many mobs as I thought I was, so that's quite handy. Right, so there we go. So I've got an 8 by 8 area, and the reason it's 8 by 8 is because that way, with water all around the sides, it'll hydrate everywhere. 4, 4, 4, 4. So I could make it slightly bigger by putting a water block in the center, and I don't need this water, but then that's okay if I've got just a single layer farm, but as I've got a multi-layered farm, that's not going to work on this occasion. So yeah, alright, so what I'm going to do is basically build around the edges of this, and might even be tempted to get the first water in place, but we'll have a look. So I'll get that done and then give you another update. Right, so we've got this farm area ready. So what we're going to do now is start, first of all, looking at the water. So what I'm going to do is place a water bucket there, and then I'm going to place a water bucket here. So what that's going to do is let water run all the way down here. It's going to run all the way down there, which is absolutely fine. And then I'm going to put another water bucket there and another one there, and what they're going to do is primarily run the water this direction, because all these sides are going to be covered up, so it doesn't matter about the direction of the water. It's just here for hydrating these bits. But what I do need to do is actually, so all these sides are going to be covered up, nothing can fall in it, and then this bottom area is going to be used to wash the harvest down into this bit. So we're going to have a water source there, it's going to be pushing this direction and pushing that direction, and as you can see here we've got some hoppers. So I've got these going down because they'll come from above. So what I'm going to do is basically place this hopper going into that one, so anything goes in there will go into that one, and likewise this hopper is going to go into that one. So this is where the water will meet in the middle, and the food will go in one of those hoppers into this one, into that one, and carry on down and meet any others coming down that way as well. And then what we're going to do to wash the water down is we're going to use these dispensers. So I've got 8 of them, which are going to go along this way. And I could have done a different design. I could have done it where we put a dispenser in each corner, and again that would have washed it to the center, and we could have had a hopper in the center. And again, I think that's perfectly alright when you've only got one layer, single farm. Because I'm going to be doing this multiple layers, I've done it this way. So it uses an extra 4 dispensers. It's a little bit more complicated setup, but it means I can have unlimited layers to this, and all the food will drop this way. So that's the best way of doing it for that, so for multiple layers. I'm using these lovely sea lanterns. I do like these. I just got those on me last episode there, you'll remember. And then what I'm going to do is cover this basically with glass. So this is going to cover all the way around, and then likewise on the top we're going to have glass going all the way across the top of here, and this is going to give us our complete sealed unit. Get that back, and then we're going to also put sea lanterns in this bottom corner as well. So let's just move that one more. No, we don't need one more there. So this is going to be then a sea lantern and a sea lantern. So that should give us enough light to actually illuminate this as well, in terms of, because the sea lanterns are getting light through here, but that there should be enough that we shouldn't get any mobs spawning. But I will check it beforehand just to make sure, in case we do need to add some more light, because that's the only thing I didn't check in creative, is that the light levels were okay, but from the tests I was doing I certainly didn't get anything spawning in here. But that's the last thing we don't want, is anything spawning, because what we're going to be doing is actually placing a villager up here, a farming villager, so a brown road villager, and he's going to be doing the planting. He's going to plant, and the planting can take about 45 minutes for it to all fully grow. So what I want to do is allow an hour, because that's going to allow the farmer enough time to plant everything to grow. He can pick a few crops and make sure his inventory's full. When his inventory's full, he'll stop planting, and then every hour this will wash automatically down here. And then what we're going to have is, so we've got sea lantern here and here, and then what we will have is basically this going across the top of here, and that will mean that the villager will get washed against the side of this, so he won't go anywhere. He'll just get washed with the water. He'll come down here, and then the water will automatically turn off after about a minute. Everything's washed down there, and then he'll start planting again. Okay, so that's the theory of the farm. So that's really the first layer done. I've got to just get some water there, water there. We've got to then get things ready in here, but I'm going to leave that to the end. I'm going to get all the redstone working and all that first of all. But yeah, that's certainly one farm, and then I'm going to do another one now directly on top again. So that is literally going to be too high. So if I come out of here, so yeah, this farm is basically now going to start here, and we're going to do exactly so. This forms as the water for the next farm. It's going to have exactly the same doing to it. So I'll get that done, and when we've got both of them there, I will come back. Right, so the second layer is done, and I think what I'm doing, well, I've put extra lanterns in here because I was getting around about 7, whereas now I'm actually getting a light level of 10 in most areas, perhaps a little darker there, which kind of will stunt the growth of the food a little bit, but not much, because daylight's going to get in here during the day. What I was worried about was actually mob spawning, so that will stop that. So what I now need to do is really get the redstone done. That really is the next job, because to really do this now, I need to test it. I need to show that it's working before I then get the villagers into place. So I've left all this back bit open because that's where the redstone tower is going to be. The front bit I've kind of decorated out, and perhaps we'll have a look at that in a second. And yeah, really I just want to get all that redstone in place and tested, so then we can actually see if it's all working. And what I'm actually going to do is finish this off with slabs on the top. So I'm going to put quartz slabs on the top, and that's going to be making sure nothing can spawn on it, but it'll also finish as a nice roof, and then that can be removed should we want to put more layers on it. I'm going to do 2 at the moment, get that working and tested, and then if I want to build more on top, so I'm going to do a potato and carrot farm to start with, and then I can always put a wheat one on top of that, and then on top of that we can do things like the sugarcane, etc. So yeah, that's all starting to look really good. What we need to do now is really make room for the redstone underneath, but I think that's starting to look pretty nice as well. Just got a few finishing touches. We're going to put some finishing touches around the side, but we'll come to that later. So I think what I need to do is basically clear out an area for all the redstone. So what I'm going to do is remove this and go down, and then I can then see how much space I'm working with, and we'll worry about the floor afterwards. So I'm going to get that cleared out. Right, let's get started on some redstone. So I've cleared out 3 levels beneath the floor area, and what we're going to do is basically we're going to start off with a very simple hopper clock. So we'll put this hopper into that one, into there, and back into itself, and press shift, that would help. Okay, and then we basically have a comparator pointing that direction and that direction, and that's going to go into, see what blocks have we got. We might as well stick to the wood, haven't we? So if the wood's a block, and then we're going to have some redstone either side, and then we want some sticky pistons, and we're going to have one facing this direction, one facing that direction, and then redstone. So there's a very simple hopper clock, and what we're going to do is we're going to put in 75 items into the hopper. Now 75 items it will take for those 75 items to go into here, and then back across into here will take exactly a minute. Okay, so what it means is this piston is going to fire over to there, the redstone block's going to go there, and then it's going to come back again over to here. So what that's going to do is actually do the next part of it. So I'm going to put some redstone dust there, so the moment it's powering it, that's going to go into a block. So essentially every minute it's going to go off and then come back on again. So that's going to be powered every minute. So that's the first part of what we need to do, but we need to extend that. So what we're going to do here is actually build an extender. So and the way we're going to do that is, if we get a dropper, place a dropper here, and then we're going to put a hopper going into that dropper. So the idea here will be that we'll put 60 items into here. So if we think that every minute this is going to get fired, every minute one item is going to get transferred. Okay, so that means with 60 items we've got a 60-minute timer, but it takes a little bit more than that to actually do that. So I think we've got a comparator going out of there and a comparator going out of there, and they're going to go into blocks, and then I think that's going to go redstone torch there. In fact, what I'm going to do, rather than build this on camera and get it completely wrong, I'm going to finish this off, test that it works, and I'll come back and show you the redstone, because in theory I should be like this. As you can dare get it right on camera. So I think we've got to put a torch up there, one under there. Yeah, I think that's right. And then that's going to come out that way, and then I think this has got to come out this way. And then what we're going to do, if we do that there, we're going to build a redstone tower here. And basically a redstone tower is simply this. So we alternate block, redstone torch, block, redstone torch, and you can see that redstone torch is off because this is powering that block and therefore turning that off. So if I take that away, the top one powers. So it's a simple way of transferring power straight up, and that's the other bit we've got to do. So what I'm going to do is, I'll tell you what, there is a bit of redstone missing. We need redstone back across the top of here to there and there. I think that needs doing. So I think once we've got our items in here, so let's put some items in here. Have I got 60? No. Let's just go and get some, and we'll put those in, and then I'll double check everything. So what I might use is just some dirt. So you've got 64, I want 70, so I want 64, 9, 11 there. So that's 64, 74, 75, and then we need 60 there for the other timer. So let's put those in so you can see this starting to work. So that 64 plus 11, so you can see that's gone across there and the power is off, and then in here we'll put the 60. Okay, so what will happen is after a minute or after 30 seconds those will then come back across, and then it'll take another 30 seconds to push it back that way, 30 seconds back across, so it gives us a minute timer basically. So straightforward enough. We'll just wait for that to do that a second. Almost done, 8 items left. There you go, and as you can see it then powers it. And if we look over here, so 60 in there still at the moment, so next time round that will then bring those and put it into there. So while that's doing that, what I'm going to do is build this redstone tower. So need some blocks to shimmy my way up as we do this. So it's literally going to be block, torch, followed by block, torch, and I'm just going to do this all the way up, and then we'll come back when I've got that finished. Okay, so the tower's done, but I did get one bit wrong, and that's this bit here. It should mimic the other side where there's a torch coming out of there. I think that's alright now, because we've got nothing happening in there at the moment, 60 in there. So we'll see what happens next time round, and then this should be powering there and there, but I haven't got any more redstone, so I'll go and get some more redstone for that second, and then we'll see if that happens whilst I'm doing that. Where's the redstone? Let's get one blocker there. That's why I don't do redstone on camera. Redstone isn't my favourite subject. I'm getting better at it, but hey, you know. So that's off. That's on. No, there's no redstone coming out of there. That's fine. Just get rid of that. Make sure there's nothing there. There we go. That's better. So that's off, and there's one item in there now. Okay, and that's what I want because we need this signal doing that, so it does it turns the hoppers on and off upstairs. So now there's one item in there. In 60 seconds there'll be 2 items in there, and it'll go all the way through until that one's empty. So the comparator's on. When that one's empty, it'll then redo its jig, and then it'll start all over again, and it takes about 30 seconds to clear. So that looks like it's all happy and working. So what I need to do now is, you can see this tower is going up. I've got to make sure that they are correct at the top. So let's go up there and bring some more redstone with us, and we'll get those bits wired up. Right, so we've got the droppers up here, which is going to drop water out. We haven't put any buckets in them yet. That's the last thing I'm going to do. I want it all wired up first. But what we are going to do is basically every other one, we're going to basically bring a redstone signal out of it. Now the reason we're doing every other is because when you power this, it will update the ones next to it. So automatically, when you dispense the water out of this one will also dispense the water. When you bring the water in, it will bring it in. So we don't need to actually wire up every single one, which is quite handy. The other thing we've got to do is, if we look at this, the signal is off, and that's good because that's what we need. So if we put that there, the signal is now off, but when that changes over, so for example, if I break this one here, you can see it powers it. Okay, so that's literally how it works. So what we need to do is get down to the other one and have a look and see what that's doing. Let's get out of the way. So the next one's down here, he says. Okay, so, and that's handy because that's also off as well, which means that any signal will be off. So yeah, that's just a matter of doing the same again. So get some more redstone, put it in every alternate one, and again we've got the torch there. So if we break that torch there, it powers it, and then if we, there we go, and it's off. Okay, so that's literally how it works. So that one has got ready, and then the top one is ready. So we haven't yet put the water in. That is going to be the last thing I do, because what I don't want is I'm messing around putting villagers in, etc., and then the water suddenly goes off. So I'm happy for the timer to work down there on its own. That's all good, but otherwise, yeah. So what I need to do now, I think, because that's all working, quite literally we need to get a villager and put a villager in there. So we need 2 farmer villagers, so I'm going to go over to my farming villager farm, and see if we can't breed 2 villagers. I'm also going to get some rail tracks. So my plan will be to get the villagers, bring them over from the village farm, village breeder, bring them over here. We'll probably bring them up the side of the building. I'll build a railway track, drop them into the top, and then I'm going to put a hole in the top one and drop one of them down into the bottom, the second one as well. I think that's going to be the easiest way, rather than trying to break water and all that side of it. So I'm going to head over there, and when we've got 2 villagers in place, we shall come back. Right, so we're all set up. The guy below has already started planting his carrots, so we've just got the land ready for this guy here, who's a farmer, and we're going to give him potatoes. Now you can notice I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And he's taken all those, which is really good, because a villager's infantry, no, he hasn't taken them all. A villager's, yeah, he's got 8 slots, but I've got a suspicion this guy might have some seeds in him, because he's just planted a couple. So let's see what he's planting there. No, he is planting potatoes, so that's good. So So we'll let him do those, and I think what we'll do is I'm going to leave these 64 on the ground here, and hopefully he'll come past and pick those up after he's planted the ones he's planted. So all I've got to do is just put the water in these dispensers, and the system is ready to go. So every hour the water will dispense out of here, push all the plants, all the potatoes into these hopper, and likewise at the same time do the carrots below, and they find their way down to the bottom. Yeah, so that looks like it's happening okay. Hopefully he'll pick up some of these potatoes now he's planted them, and his inventory will have just potatoes in, but I'll have to keep an eye on that. If we start getting wheat in here, we might have to change this guy over. Although he is a brand new villager, he should be okay, but we shall wait and see. So I'll go and get the water in, and then we'll see you downstairs so I can show you how we finished it off. Well, there you go, guys. I think we're just about there. I've put the water in the dispensers up there. It's all ready to go. This is working like a dream. It did actually do its dispensing just before I put the water in. So I know we've got about 55 minutes before this one triggers again and sets all the dispensers off. So I'm going to go up there and make sure that it's working. So I'm going to sort of AFK up there. But yeah, what do you think of this room? I was going to actually hide all this redstone, but I decided I think it makes a nice little feature of it, showing off the mechanics, especially as that's happening every 60 seconds. Anybody that comes in here, they can see it working down there, and I think it makes quite a nice feature. So I've hidden all the elements behind here now, apart from the one chest. So although there's actually about 5 double chests up there, so if we get a backlog it won't matter, and I'm going to sort of basically sort these out. I haven't put any kind of auto sorter in, although I guess we've got room down there for that if we wanted to. But for now, the way the servers are, the clock's going to be running anyway. I don't want things too laggy, so I decided not to do that at the moment. Instead, I've got these chests here where I'm just going to put the various things so people can come up here and help themselves to food should they want it, especially for villager trading, which is really why I've done it, because I want to do all the trading for villagers. And I do love these sea lanterns. I think they work very nice with this dark oak wood. I like that. So yeah, I'm going to be doing more of that, and it's given me an idea for some lights around spawn. So hopefully you've enjoyed the episode. Let me know in the comments what you think of the design and how the whole building looks and everything. I'd love to get your feedback on that. And likewise, if you decide to use this in your own world, send me a link to the video, tweet me a picture if you're not doing a video. I'd love to see how you've used this in your own world. So just leaves me to say thank you very much. Hopefully you've enjoyed the episode. Do click on like if you have. That would be really helpful. And we'll see you next time here on WildCraft. So, my name's WildTracker, and it's bye for now. Bye-bye. Bye.